Bula Vanaka, my name is Sereana Naepi. I'm named after my great-grandmother who raised my mother in the village of Nakinda in Neita City on the tribal lands of Nikonanedolo in Fiji. Naepi is my husband's last name. His parents were raised in Avasali and Tamakatonga in Niue. And Alice is named after this Alice, who hopefully will get her back to Aotearoa in time to meet her. Today I want to talk about Pacific people in Aotearoa. When I talk about Pacific people, I'm talking about the South Pacific Islands. So Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Niue. Education is really important to our community. We aspire to be successful in higher education. And we aspire for this not just for ourselves, but for our families and our communities. And the reason I've got double-held canoes here is because Pacific people did amazing things, and this is to remind us that you can travel the largest ocean in the world if we work together. The New Zealand government has recognised that university education is important. The further along you go in education, the better for yourself, your community, and society as a whole. And they really want every single individual to have the opportunity to realise their talents. And this is what this is about. Because unfortunately, if you're Pacific, we have a 52% qualification completion rate in New Zealand. That means that less than half of our learners, Pacific learners, are getting the dreams they were promised. They're investing a lot of money and they're not getting it. And the reason that I don't think this is the learners' fault is because as Pacific people, if you look at the university, I'm not allowed to name it. If you look at our largest research university, this is the gap we're looking at. In the last 5 years, they've only got more than 50% once. My work is about moving this lovely red line closer to the green line. And I think in general it's a little bit worrying that we're only sitting around 60%. My work kind of looks at how the different structures in university make that gap. And the way that I kind of want to look at this is by asking about barriers and how we can break them. Sorry, this week my baby brain's been like really good. And the reason that I don't think it's the students' fault, and I think it's got to do with structure, is that Pacific people sailed the largest ocean in the world, and we did it repetitively, we did it intentionally. We're the navigators, the star chasers, the wayfarers. We were scientists. So what about this world can we bring into this world so that we can all be successful? The New Zealand government also believes in us. They've now said that they want cultural inclusion from universities so that all Pacific people can be successful. It's about working with the community as opposed to bringing the community into our space. Kind of a little bit like this. And it's not just paper shuffling. Our government's committed an extra $320 for every single Pacific student that enrolls in the university. The last graph I showed you, where we had 51%, that year, that university got an extra $880,000 to support Pacific students. So if we've got an extra $880,000, we've got policies, we've got strategies, why are we still sitting at 50%? My argument is that it's the structures. And we need to look at these structures and work out what's going on in our universities. And another lady has theorized on this, and her theory was that it was something called institutional habits. I hope, yes. Institutional habits, just like our own habits, right? Some of us exercise every day, we're really good at that. People like me bite our nails, it's a bad habit. But it's something that we've done for a really long time and we've never questioned it. Universities do it too. We have some good habits, things like graduation. It's good to celebrate our successes. It's good to come together once a year with our families and our community and celebrate what the university does. Any other good habits you guys can think of? But unfortunately, there are also negative habits, and sometimes you can't see them. These habits are habits that if you're not from a traditional background, they feel like a brick wall. You run into them, and you see other people not running into them, and you're trying to work out where the magic door is, how to get through this brick wall. It's not, I don't think it's, the universities aren't intentionally doing this. I want to make that really clear. So things like recruitment. I've worked in recruitment. We went to a high Pacific population school and we had 2 people and no resources. And when I asked why, they said, oh, we've always done it this way. That means those kids at that school have never had a chance to dream about going to university. That's not okay. We also have a habit when it comes to knowledge. Universities are really good at gatekeeping about what counts as knowledge and what doesn't. I'm not saying physics isn't true. I'm not doing that. What I am saying is this is really dangerous. Pacific people for decades were told we got lost in a canoe. We thought we weren't capable of great things. We are. So my work is looking at how to break through these barriers. We have to find out if it's just like a matter of slowly scratching and getting through, or whether it's a matter of there's a door or a window we just haven't seen yet, or sometimes on some days I feel like we just need a giant sledgehammer, right? And we just need to break through and see what we can achieve. To do this, I'm using a Pacific research method that centers relationship and conversation. It's called a talanoa. This allows me to center Pacific women's voices and to make sure that in my research, they're the experts. Because if anybody knows how to close that gap, it's those women. So how am I going to change the numbers? Well, my idea is that we name these barriers first and foremost, we work out how to break them as a community, and then we produce a nice document to give to the universities. And the universities, because I don't think they're doing this intentionally, will work at changing these structures that are causing these barriers. British Columbia, I'm sorry, it's not just New Zealand, it's happening in Canada too. And there is some research that suggests some barriers and how to break them, but there's also a larger call for larger reform of the university structures so that all learners can be successful. And the reason it's important that all learners are successful is because we're all successful if we are, right? So it doesn't matter what locale we're in. We really need to think about how to unlock the potential of all learners. And I think that this is our ocean to navigate right now. And we can only really navigate it if we work together. Thank you.